All right, here we go. Can I click the right button? Maybe. Alrighty. Yes, we can do it. What's up, everybody? Greetings and salutations. Good morning, everybody, on this beautiful Sunday, December 8th. Alrighty. Just got to settle a couple things here. We're on a little bit of a delay, but a 15-second delay on the YouTube live stream should not be too big of a difference. All right, so as we all know, everything to the left of me is my updated rankings. So be that as it may, if you have any other questions, let me know. As of right now, the injury report and or the questionable / injured and out players should be up to relevant date. I gotta go check if there was any other inactives that were established earlier today. Let's see here. Is there anything in relation to Hollywood Brown questionable? Yep. Okay. That's still pretty active. And then Lev Bell, T.Y. Hilton, Vinatieri, Juju Smith-Schuster, James Conner, A.J. Green, Paul Richardson, Trey Quinn, Stafford, Olsen, Humphreys, Adoree Jackson, Trent Brown, Hunter Renfrow, Damian Williams, Gerald Everett, all going to be out this week. And then we got a couple players coming back from injury, which is Matt Breida, Julio Jones, Austin Hooper, Marlon Mack, Paris Campbell, and David Njoku. Okay, so hopefully we're on the same page there in terms of all that kind of jazz. All right, so before we get into anything, let's see here. Mark O was saying, Andrew, make or break time. I have one flex spot open. What would you do? Debo, Josh Jacobs, Singletary, Madison, Penny, Hollister. Need one. Okay, Mark, to be honest, off the top of my head, I'm probably playing Josh Jacobs. He's, as of right now, the best fantasy option of the group. The only other player of the group that I would consider playing, is probably Singletary at this point. But look, against the Ravens, it's not very fun of a matchup. Penny's also a decent play, but of the bunch, it's got to be Josh Jacobs. Like, I'm not going to play, Debo, who's seen only 4 targets in the last 2 weeks. Madison, who's probably not going to play very much, considering, according to Dalvin Cook, he's ready, full steam ahead, ready to go. Hollister, sure, he gets targets here and there, but as a tight end, he's been pretty inconsistent the last couple of weeks. Pretty much the entire Seahawks offense have been inconsistent in terms of targets and or receptions, receiving touchdowns, as they've been lacking in that department as of late. So of the bunch, it's either Jacobs or Singletary. Obviously, depending on, the scoring format makes a difference to an extent, but to be honest, not too much. I think the highest likelihood of the baseline numbers of 12 points plus is Singletary and Jacobs, but I feel like Jacobs has the higher upside. So they both have the nice floor, but Jacobs, in my eyes, has the higher ceiling with his ability and touchdown upside. So that's my suggestion. All right, let's see here. Let's move a couple things here. Matthew Risotto, thank you for the donation, says half PPR Lindsey or Woods in the flex. I'd probably play Robert Woods this week. As much as I like Philip Lindsay, he's just, I don't know, he's too sketchy. If the Denver Broncos organization would really just establish their RB1 like they allowed Lindsay to run free last season, with Royce Freeman pretty much just being a change of pace or if and when Lindsay needed a breather kind of back, then this backfield would be far more, simple, and Lindsay would be a top 15 guy every single week. But considering that's not the current case of the backfield, and we continuously see Philip Lindsay with, 7, 8, maybe 9 fantasy points every week. Sure, he has the upside of a touchdown to get himself to that 15 range, but we're very seldom seeing that out of him this season. Comparatively to last year, I think he had double-digit touchdowns this year, not even close. So as of right now, I'd play Woods at the flex. Thank you for the donation. Okay, James. Let's see here. Darren Taylor sends a $2 donation with a little, I don't know what that is. Is that a pear with a headband dancing? I appreciate it. Thank you very much. If you had a question, obviously it didn't come through, but we'll see where that ends up. James Raff, I don't know. I'm sure you had a question, but it hadn't come through with your message. So go ahead and if you can, just type it out in the chat. See what we can do there. Jack saying, okay, so Zach Pascal, Miles Sanders, Rashad Penny, half PPR. I'm probably playing Miles Sanders over the bunch. As good of a matchup as Zach Pascal is with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I've come to find that every week, almost every single week that we salivate over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers matchup, it often gets to an extent to where I think we're overplaying guys. We know it's a really easy matchup and they give out like the most points, but as of late, they haven't been that bad. So I feel like we don't need to play a Pascal in there. And between Rashad Penny and Miles Sanders, Penny's going to have to split snap. Sure, he had 19 touches total on Monday night, but I'm far more comfortable with Miles Sanders against the Giants defense on Monday night at home. I think he's a fantastic play in a half PPR, and that's what I'd go with, Jack. Thank you for the donation. All right, let's see here. KSF1, thank you for the donation. Says PPR flex Benny Snell or John Brown in a PPR. Ooh. Okay. As much as I like John Brown, I think this is a really tough matchup against Baltimore. Very good corner coverage across the board in that secondary that really hasn't allowed very much all season long, and not by accident. They are outside of the beginning of the season, they've been a very elite defense. So between the two of them, I probably want to play Benny Snell. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to, cash in on that PPR work and catch passes out of the backfield, but he's certainly getting a lot of work to the extent where I'm 100% confident in playing him in that kind of a format. Let me find this. I'm pretty sure his touching, his rushing attempts in the last 2 weeks. I mean, if that's not good enough, then I don't know what is. 21 rushing attempts and then 16 rushing attempts last week where he had a rushing touchdown against the Browns. The Cardinals defense is a joke. They're one of the worst in the league, in my opinion, as of right now. And if Gurley's going to go ahead and run on you like they did last week, and that inept Rams offense is capable of doing what they did, I'm fairly certain that Benny Snell is going to be a really pretty good play this week. Top 24 back to say the least. So as of right now, I'd play Snell over John Brown. Thank you for the donation. Let's see here. So Darren Taylor and James Raff. That's who we're looking. Okay, Darren says Bilal Powell or Keenan Allen in a full PPR flex. As of right now, I'd play Keenan Allen. As good of a play as Bilal Powell is with Le'Veon Bell out today, I'm 100% still going with Keenan Allen. His target counts, the matchup against Jacksonville, I feel that it's a pretty favorable matchup in his position, and there's no way that I'm leaving Keenan Allen, one of my studs, on the bench, especially after the last 2 weeks, consistently finding himself in the end zone and in the red zone with high amount of target count, and he's delivering on those plays, putting up far too many good performances. I understand the upside of, looking at what Bilal Powell did last season at the end of the year, and what he could potentially do today against the Miami Dolphins. I know that's all great upside, but personally, I'd rather go with Keenan Allen today. Darren Taylor, thank you for the donation. Okay, let's see here. Oops, that thing updated. Alrighty, here we go. Where are we at? Jason says, Andrew. Okay, so no, it's not Andrew. It's Andrews, Doyle, Higbee. All right, so between the three of them, I'm playing Jack Doyle today. It's not even close. Jack Doyle is my number one tight end by a wide margin, mainly because I honestly think Jacoby Brissett, outside of passing to Jack Doyle, is going to have a tough time. But considering how, they've been really poor all season long against, guarding the opposing tight end position. So I think as of right now, Doyle's a fantastic play. Now, between the other question you had Texans or Eagles defense today. That's tough because the Eagles defense really didn't look good against the Miami Dolphins. Now, I've seen in weeks prior where the Eagles defense is playing far better. But the issue is, can they go ahead and lock down on both sides of the football, maybe all three sides with special teams, and play well this week? Because we've seen it in weeks past where they played against the Seahawks, they played against the Patriots, and they didn't allow them very many points, and they played consistently well on defense. I think last week was somewhat of a fluke. So I'd probably go with the Eagles defense. As of right now, I'm not really convinced by the Texans. I understand they played pretty well last week, but they still let up a lot of points in that second half. And I feel like against the rookie quarterback, who that offense is probably not going to stop trying, they're going to get some points late in the game. So Jason, as of right now, we go with Doyle and the Eagles there. Thank you for the donation. We have William with the donation. Thank you very much. It says pick 2, Odell, Lockett, Parker. Full PPR. Between the three of them, I'm playing Parker certainly. Between Odell Beckham and Lockett, it's a little tough. I think I have them back-to-back in my rankings because I don't know what to do with these guys, right? Tyler Lockett in the last couple of weeks has been pretty much invisible to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has not seen him, has not targeted him, not even close to enough. Last week, 3 targets, 0 receptions. The week before, 2 targets, 1 reception for very little amount of yards. That's concerning. Odell Beckham is at least getting more targets and has more upside, in my opinion. So as of the way it currently stands, who has the better or the safer floor? I think it's going to be OBJ and certainly Parker. So those are my 2 suggestions. William, thank you for the donation. Let's see here. Sladen with the donation says full PPR, pick 1. McCoy or Penny. Carson is my RB1. All right, that's an interesting thing. Now, as of right now, it's tough because LaShawn McCoy, in my opinion, is probably not going to get enough touches. And considering that, what we've seen from LaShawn McCoy this season, sure, he gets goal line carries, sure, he can score a touchdown, but very few times are we seeing this guy with a large amount of rushing attempts in a single game. Let me see here. Here we go. LaShawn McCoy. Because I know last week I think he had 5 rushing attempts, which is terrible, especially in a game in which they were blowing out the Raiders. But I guess they were trying to conserve him. In the last couple of weeks, it's been really bad. Just talking about the last 3 weeks, his rushing attempts, 3, 7, and 5. Sure, he scored 2 rushing touchdowns, but total overall, he's only had 48 rushing yards in those last 3 weeks, and he's only caught the ball, 8 times for 48 yards? Not great in my opinion. But the thing is, LaShawn McCoy scores touchdowns. That's always been the deal. LaShawn McCoy has scored 4 touchdowns 2 in the last 2 weeks. So yes, he's scoring touchdowns. It's making a big difference. So that's the question. Are we willing to play a guy that has minimal touches over a guy that is going to touch the ball far more than him in a better offense? As of right now, I'm probably leaning towards Rashad Penny, because even though LaShawn McCoy's played better in the past, I'm looking at this Kansas City Chiefs backfield, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, Darwin Thompson, Spencer Ware, maybe Darrell Williams this week, and LaShawn McCoy. There's a lot of names in this backfield, and I think anybody can willingly come in and grab the ball and go. So between a bunch of them, between the 2 that you have suggested, Penny or McCoy, I'm honestly playing Penny this week, even in a full PPR setting, because he does catch the ball out of the backfield. Thank you for the donation. Okay, Zach Hainberg says Kareem Hunt, Jamison Crowder, Bilal Powell, Emmanuel Sanders for my flex full PPR. Note, I already am starting Chubb. Thanks, big guy. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Of the bunch, it's got to be Bilal Powell, in my opinion, at the flex. I like Crowder and I like Emmanuel Sanders. I like their matchups personally. Crowder against Miami, last time he played against them, he had double-digit fantasy points, scored himself a touchdown, looked great. But it was all done in the first drive of the game. He scored, I think, 13 of his 17 half PPR points in that first series. Outside of that, he really slowed down, and in the last couple of weeks has slowed down also, which kind of concerns me, right? Kareem Hunt, always a good play, especially as a flex option. Emmanuel Sanders is a good play against the Saints defense, as it probably be a higher scoring back and forth, and their secondary is their biggest weakness as a defense as a whole. So of the bunch, I'm going with Powell. I don't know. As of right now, I'm thinking, how difficult can it be to run against the Miami Dolphins? It shouldn't be difficult. And also, Bilal Powell is a receiving back, and I think the way I see it, Adam Gase has tried to find an excuse to sit Le'Veon Bell and play Bilal Powell this whole season. he's finally getting an opportunity to do so, considering Le'Veon Bell's sick. And I think Powell is a really good play. Now, if you don't want to play Powell and you're worried about that, I'd go with Kareem Hunt, and I'd be perfectly fine with that against Cincinnati. I know you're already playing Chubb, so they're pretty much like kind of taking away from each other, but I wouldn't mind playing both of them. But personally, I'd like to play Powell this week. Thank you for the donation. All right, iShine 101, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Winds are 18 miles per hour in Buffalo. Should I keep Andrews or start Higbee? By the way, Singletary or Sony Michel, seems like the Pats might want to keep Mahomes off the field. Love the content, Andrew. Thank you very much. All right. So really quickly, I'm still playing Andrews over Higbee. I like the contributions of what we saw Higbee do for the offense last week against the Cardinals. And I think the matchup against the Seahawks Sunday night, later tonight, is going to be pretty favorable for him considering the absence of Gerald Everett. So he's probably going to be a decent play. But I can't see myself starting Tyler Higbee over Mark Andrews. He's been too good of a tight end this year. As of right, okay. So here's the thing. Here's the logic. Okay. So this is how I would break it down in my brain. Okay. Mark Andrews, 18 mile per hour winds, plays against arguably the toughest defense against the tight end position. Right. That linebacking core, those safeties, they do not allow tight ends to catch the ball ever. I think we went over it earlier this week on the tight end video, and we established that the best performance against them was Jason Witten last week. And outside of that, the best performance was 48 receiving yards in like week 2. So very few tight ends have ever really popped off against that defense. But again, we have to understand Mark Andrews, sure, he's a tight end. But in this offense, in the way that it's sculpted, it's for tight ends to be the main wide receiver contributors. So I don't really care that Mark Andrews is considered a tight end. I still believe that he's a great play comparatively to a Tyler Higbee despite matchup and all that kind of thing. So I'm playing Mark Andrews in my opinion. I don't mind if he plays Tyler Higbee. I don't mind that at all. I think he is still a good tight end himself in a good matchup. So both are not bad plays, but I prefer Mark Andrews. Now, between Singletary and Sony Michel, I don't want to touch Michel. You play Singletary, you'll be perfectly fine there. I know they want to try to keep Mahomes off the field, but last week when they tried to keep Deshaun Watson off the field, they used James White, and they ran the ball with him 14 times. They've used more Burkhead in the last couple of weeks, especially even in the slot position as a receiving back, in order to still leave James White in the backfield and not have to use Michel. So that's my thought process. So we're going with, in my opinion, my suggestion, Singletary and Andrews. All right, let's see. Hug Tredge with the donation. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. PPR Flex, choose 2. Geis, James White, Golden Tate. All right, Golden Tate's healthy today, or tomorrow, Monday Night Football. He should be good with Eli Manning. As of right now, Flex 2 PPR. All right, I'm certainly playing James White from the bunch. Now, between Geis and Golden Tate has a pretty safe floor. I think like a 6 reception, 50-yard game with 11 points in a full PPR. That's pretty safe, and I think he can do that, relatively easily. Now, the question is, does a guy like Darius Geis have is there a possibility that he has another pop-off game? Now, he played Carolina last week, which was a really easy matchup, but yet he still had less touches than Adrian Peterson. It really does look like a 50-50 split in the backfield. Now, there's two thought processes here, or two split minds. Number one, the Green Bay Packers at home blow out the Redskins, which forced the Redskins to not ever be able to run the ball. Sure, Darius Geis can be used in the passing game, but they also have Chris Thompson there. So it kind of hurts his value here and there in a full PPR because he's not really able to take advantage of the receiving work. So as of right now, and then the other side is the Washington Redskins come out and they batter this defense that has given up the 5th most points to opposing running backs, right? So those are the two options. What's more likely, in my opinion, is the first one, where the Redskins get blown out and Geis has to be a receiving back in the second half and doesn't really get to run too often, in my opinion, especially with splitting carries with Adrian Peterson. So I'm going to suggest James White and Golden Tate this week, who's coming off a concussion. I know leaving Geis on the bench may seem like a crazy thing to do, considering that pop-off week. If you want, you play him over Golden Tate, but personally, I'm going with James White and Golden Tate. Thank you for the donation. Chris Rosado, thank you for the donation. Says, good morning, Andrew. Pick 2 half PPR. Galladay, Lockett, Washington, Boyd. Okay, and then we say Fitz or Tannehill, Snell or Singletary. All right, cool. So Let's answer the easier question. So Fitz or Tannehill? I'm playing Tannehill this week over Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think it's a far safer play, especially against the Raiders defense and secondary. I know Adam Humphries is out, but it's not a problem because A.J. Brown, you still have Jonnu Smith, you still have Corey Davis, you still have Derrick Henry in the backfield. I think this offense will get it done, and I think Ryan Tannehill's a fantastic play once again this week against the Raiders. So that's my suggestion there. Between Snell and Singletary, I love Singletary this week as a play. Even if in fact it's the Ravens scoring a bunch of points and Josh Allen trying to keep up, it's perfectly fine because Singletary is the receiving back of this team and he's going to get enough work to where he's at least a relevant back, to say the very minimum a relevant back, 10 plus points. He always has the upside of a touchdown, and the work that he's seen in the passing game, the receiving touchdowns. I mean, if we go back and we saw what he did against Dallas last Thursday, I think he even dropped a receiving touchdown in the end zone. It was wide open. The guy's going to get a lot of opportunity there, so I would probably prefer him over Snell. And then between the bunch of the wide receiver position, it's pretty much to the left of me here. The answer is there. I'm going to go with Golladay, and I'm going to go with Boyd. Lockett, like we talked about a little bit earlier, has kind of been invisible as of late in terms of targets. James Washington is a big upside guy, catching the ball only 3-4 times in the last couple of weeks and still scoring touchdowns. That's incredible, right? That's something that we don't often want to rely upon. So I like the upside of Golladay and or floor of Golladay and Boyd over them, so that's my preference. So Golladay, Boyd, Tannehill, Singletary, those are my suggestions. Chris, thank you for the donation. All right, guys. So now if you're wondering, Andrew, are you only going to answer donation questions? No. I'm going to get to everybody. I just have to knock these out immediately because otherwise I'm going to be flooded with them because there are a lot, guys. So stick with me. All right, so here we go. I got to scroll way up because there's a lot of you that have already sent stuff through. So I have to pretty much go and determine whether there's a lot that I haven't answered, and I'm going to find them right now. Okay. Cool. So let's go over here. So after Chris Rosado was VW Fan 32. Thank you for the donation. I feel like halfway too much risk for the playoff matchup standard. Kamara, Dalvin Cook, Tyreek Hill. Would you replace anyone for Parker? Also, Darren Waller or Doyle? I prefer Doyle over Waller. Obviously, earlier this week when I talked about the tight end position, I definitely had Darren Waller far too low in terms of my rankings. I've adjusted that accordingly. But at the other position, so Kamara, Cook, or Tyreek Hill, would I play Devontae Parker over any of them? I think you're saying I feel like I have way too much risk for a playoff matchup in a standard. I don't know where you see the risk that you have. Like, you have Dalvin Cook, which is perfectly safe. Kamara, sure, hasn't been a touchdown guy every single week. I mean, he hasn't been a touchdown guy since like week 3, which is tough. And then Tyreek Hill always has the volatility. So the question is, would you replace any of those guys, any of those 4? I mean, there's 3 guys there, so maybe you missed one. Of the bunch, between Kamara, Cook, and Tyreek Hill, I'm probably playing all 3 of those studs. Now, if in fact you needed or you felt like you had to get Devontae Parker into your lineup against that Jets matchup, he's been far too good, then you bench Tyreek Hill. Personally, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to find some other way to play Devontae Parker, whether it's in the flex potentially or something. But as of right now, I prefer the upside of a Tyreek Hill over Devontae Parker, as good as he's been. I know it sounds crazy, but I have a hard time benching Hill as of right now. But yeah, if you have another way to start Parker over another receiver, he's in my top 10. I think he's my number 9 receiver this week. He's just far too good to leave on the bench. But Hill is a different animal. Thank you for the donation, VW fan. All right, Nolid, thank you for the donation. Says, who can I trust more between Kamara and Melvin Gordon this week? It's a really good question. Who can you trust more? In a PPR, I think Kamara's baseline is pretty solid. I mean, he gets a lot of work in the passing game. Now, sure, he doesn't score touchdowns. He probably, just off of looking at what he's done as of late, he's probably not going to score a touchdown. But from what we've seen as of late in terms of his production in the passing game, I mean, the reception counts in a full PPR cannot be understated. His receptions are pretty much his touchdowns. Like in the last couple of weeks, 7, 8, 10, 9, 4. Sure, this last week against the Atlanta Falcons on Thursday night wasn't a great receiving game for him, but 9, 10, 8, and 7, those receiving games, having those, 10 receptions is 10 points. That is no joke. That is a fantastic performance. So who can you trust more? I feel like the PPR game is pretty much just kind of set for Kamara. There's always going to be Latavius Murray, running around maybe stealing a touchdown, but there's always going to be Austin Eckler taking touchdowns and production away from a guy like Melvin Gordon. Jacksonville has been awful against opposing running backs. That's why I have Melvin Gordon as high as I do. So if you're looking and you're thinking, Andrew, listen, I need touchdown upside. I need a guy that's going to touch the ball 20 times on the ground, and I need him to run for over 100 yards. Melvin Gordon's your guy. But if you're looking for a guy that's going to really take advantage of the PPR format, then you play Kamara. Who can you trust more? Obviously, your question kind of gives your bias away. I think you want to play Melvin Gordon. I think you want to avoid playing Kamara, but you want me to say it. And I don't think I'm ever going to say that. I have a hard time. Actually, no, what am I talking about? I have Melvin Gordon over Alvin Kamara. Scratch it. I don't know what I've been talking about, guys. I'm drunk, okay? I'm not really, but play Melvin Gordon. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm a joke, dude. What the fuck was I even doing? Play Melvin Gordon. But yeah, the whole point is I'm assuming that you kind of want to play Melvin Gordon over Kamara if you're untrustworthy of him. Regardless, I'm an idiot. Moving on. Half PPR from Chris. Thank you for the donation. Says Christian Kirk or Darwin Thompson. I'm probably playing Christian Kirk this week. Darwin Thompson, as good of a play as he could potentially be this week, I'm a little worried. I don't know how many touches he's going to get. Sure, he got about 11 touches last week in a blowout. But if, in fact, let's say, for example, Mahomes comes out and struggles similar to how he did in the playoff game against the Patriots, we could see Mahomes having to throw the ball for a majority of the game, and we might not see too much work out of a Darwin Thompson. So I personally think, yes, Christian Kirk was pretty much absent last week, but that was because of Jalen Ramsey. I don't feel like there's a cornerback. I don't think Joe Hayden's going to be able to lock down a guy like Christian Kirk this week, and I think the Cardinals will be a better offense. I prefer Christian Kirk in a half PPR. Thank you for your donation, Chris. JW with a donation says Powell or Penny ? Or and then Njoku or McDonald. Okay, cool, perfect. I would rather play David Njoku over Vance McDonald this week. I think David Njoku's return offers another weapon in that offense. And honestly, David Njoku has been one of Baker Mayfield's favorite targets. Even going back to last year, he had the second most targets receptions on the team. And it's not really by accident. I think this offense needs and always uses a tight end. Sure, Demetrius Harris and Ricky Seals-Jones this season haven't been consistent enough. But I think David Njoku comes back and kind of inserts that consistency. Now, if in fact you're concerned about whether or not we should play Vance McDonald, it's a fantastic matchup. He always needs to be mentioned because the Cardinals cannot stop a tight end. They can't do it. So, who's the safer play? In my opinion, it's Njoku. Who's the upside play? It's Vance McDonald. Do with that as you might, but honestly, personally, I just want 8 points out of my tight end. I just want consistency. And I feel like, sure, we haven't seen consistency because we haven't seen Njoku in a while, but I think he'll come back healthy. It's not like it's a hamstring injury and he's going to have limited reps. It was a hand injury. I think he broke his hand. And he was healthy. He's ready to come back, and he'll be fine. On the other side of that question, you were asking Penny or Powell. I'd rather play Bilal Powell this week over Rashad Penny. Calvin75 says half PPR, Darius Slayton, Darwin Thompson, flex. That's a pretty good question. Honestly, I'm probably going with Darwin Thompson. As good as Darius Slayton is, I feel like with Eli out there, there's already Sterling Shepard, there's already Golden Tate. I feel like that's the 1-2. Right, and then Saquon. Saquon's probably going to have a monster game. He hasn't been good since Eli's been at quarterback. Really, this season, you go look at what he was. Okay, regardless. We're talking about Slayton and Darwin Thompson. I personally would probably rather play Darwin Thompson over Darius Slayton this week in a half PPR scoring format. That's my suggestion. Matt B with a donation says, PPR, flex Snell or Doyle? My tight end start is already Hunter Henry. Okay. Between Snell and Doyle and a PPR, I'm honestly gonna play Doyle. as good of a play as Snell is, I think, let's say, for example, if Snell gets himself 100 yards off 20 touches and a touchdown, right? That's the best case scenario, and you have yourself 16 points there with Snell. How easy is it in a full PPR for Jack Doyle to get 16 points? Because I think Jack Doyle is going to score this week, and I also think he's going to get about 7-8 catches, good amount of yards. So let's say he gets 7 catches for 54 yards. It's 100. That's 12.4, and I just feel like the base floor is with Hunter Henry, and I feel like the upside's also there with him as well. I'm going Hunter Henry. No, excuse me, Doyle. That's my suggestion. Okay, Martha, let's see where your donation... Okay, there's your donation, but where exactly did your message go? Because that is the question. Guys, make sure your messages are attached, please and thank you. Martha, there it is. Good morning, PPR, Singletary or Sanders? I'm going with Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders I think is too easy of a play this week. I feel like when we're just looking at their usage, they're pretty similar in the backfield. Both rookie running backs, both capable of being 3-down backs, and are. As of right now, we've seen more of Singletary splitting with Frank Gore in that backfield, especially on the early downs, while Miles Sanders has not had very much competition because Jordan Howard has been out for so long. So as of right now, the way I see it, we're probably going with Miles Sanders against the New York Giants, which is a far easier matchup than playing against the Ravens defense this week. So my suggestion is Miles Sanders. Mark, thank you for the donation. Bryce says one flex, half PPR, Miles Sanders, Kittle, Lindsey, Michelle. Michelle, buy. Lindsey, buy. Miles Sanders or Kittle? That is the question at hand now, Bryce. Between the two of them, do I rather play Kittle against the Saints or Miles Sanders versus the Giants? I'm probably playing Miles Sanders. As good as Kittle is generally, I feel like Miles Sanders is too good of a play to leave on the bench. If it was let's say, for example, Kittle or Lindsey, I play Kittle. But you have Miles Sanders as an option, and I have a hard time leaving him on my bench, despite how good Kittle is. So personally, I'm going to go with Miles Sanders in this suggestion. Bryce, thank you for the donation. iShine101 with another donation. Thank you very much. Says Lockett or Chark, and Woods or Golladay PPR. Okay, so Lockett, Chark, I'm playing Chark. Woods and Golladay, I'm playing Woods. Galladay's been really consistent, and I think since like week 6, I think he has the highest yard per reception average in the National Football League. That's what I saw somewhere on Twitter. I don't know. I just scroll Twitter and I see it's down. I'm like, damn, that's actually pretty ridiculous. He's a deep ball receiver. He's going to have that high upside, but also can fall down on his face very often. It's a really easy matchup, but I feel like the target count and the usage of Robert Woods in the last couple of weeks sure hasn't found that touchdown, but he's been far too present in the offense for me to not play a guy like Robert Woods, in my opinion, this week, especially in a full PPR. If neither of them score touchdowns, Woods is the better play. Galladay's kind of touchdown dependent, especially in the last couple of weeks where he's had like a handful of receptions and those big touchdowns. Those have made his week. But yeah, so Chark, Woods, those are my suggestion. I shine. Alexander Ross says, super flex, need to. Keenan Allen, Josh Allen, Jacoby Brissett, Fitzmagic. Okay. I'm playing 2 quarterbacks here. In a super flex, I'm leaving Keenan Allen on the bench. So the question at hand is now turned on which quarterbacks are we playing? And I personally would rather play Josh Allen and Ryan Fitzmagic this week over Jacoby Brissett. I think Jacoby Brissett, sure, good play. Just it's a tough matchup in terms of he doesn't have too many weapons surrounding him. He has Pascal, he has Pascal. His Paris Campbell coming back from injury, and he has Jack Doyle. I really think Jack Doyle is going to feast because he's really the only target there. Marlon Mack's going to have a hard time, in my opinion, running the ball against that front 7. So sure, they're going to pass the ball a good amount, but I'd rather play Fitzmagic and Josh Allen this week, who have been more consistent quarterbacks and, in my opinion, have easier matchups at hand. I mean, easier matchups, and I think they have a safer floor. I'm kind of worried about Jacoby Brissett being Nick Foles of last week this week. That's just my only concern. That's why I prefer Fitzmagic and oh, hold up. That's Kyle Allen. That's not Keenan Allen, regardless. That's not Kyle Allen. That's Kyle Allen. Regardless of whether it's Kyle Allen or not, I'm probably still playing Fitzmagic and Josh Allen. Thank you for the donation, Alexander. Matthew Rosado says, have PPR Andrews or Rudolph. I know Andrews is higher. I mean, if you know Andrews is higher, then you don't. Okay. if you listen, you know Andrews is higher. You ask anyway. What do you want me to tell you, Matthew? Like, if you want, play Rudolph. He's scored touchdowns consistently. Like, what is it? 6 touchdowns in the last 6 weeks. He's a monster. There's no Adam Thielen still. They play against the Lions at home. It's a pretty easy matchup. If you're worried about Andrews, especially in the matchup, then you play, Kyle Rudolph, and it's perfectly fine. He's a great tight end. He's a very good tight end, in fact, or at least as of late, he's been very good. Sure, his target counts aren't crazy, but at least he's scoring touchdowns consistently. But I'm afraid of the 1 week he doesn't score a touchdown, what happens to him, Same thing could happen to Mark Andrews. If he doesn't score a touchdown, he ends up being a bum. But that's just the tight end position in general. So if you want to play Rudolph, go for it. But otherwise, my suggestion again is Andrews. Luis with the donation says, I might lose Jacobs and Bell is out. Why would you lose Jacobs? I know Jacobs is dealing with that shoulder injury, but I don't think you're going to lose him this week. So anyway, you're saying I might lose Jacobs and Bell is out. Can I swap with Darwin Thompson, McCoy, Ronald Jones? I can swap with those 3. I can also put in a wide receiver for Bell, Shepard, Debo, or Robbie. Okay, so pretty much it's a flex question. Who do we play instead of Bell this week between the 6 players that you've pretty much named? I don't want to play Ronald Jones this week. I don't know what the scoring format is, Luis, which kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. It's a full PPR, half PPR standard, kind of makes it an easier answer for me, but I'll just answer in the half PPR sense because that's typically what I talk about. Of the group of players as of right now, I'm kind of leaning towards playing a guy like Sterling Shepard, to be honest. Oh, that updated really rapidly. What the heck happened here? Okay. I'm probably leaning towards playing. Yeah, I'm playing Sterling Shepard. Because Bell is out and you don't have Bilal Powell, if you can, go pick him up. Everybody go pick up Bilal Powell, whether he's going to play for you or not. I think he's a good guy to have on roster in case Bell's going to miss time. I would suggest playing Sterling Shepard over Thompson or McCoy this week in a half PPR setting. If it's full, then even more. Debo, Robbie Anderson. I think Robbie Anderson is the next best of the 3 wide receivers. Debo's the last, but personally, I'd rather play Sterling Shepard this week. Thank you for the donation, Luis. Nathan Wood says, Crowder, Marvin Jones, DK Metcalf is my wide receiver too. I'm probably going... I suggest Crowder. That's my suggestion. I know he's been pretty inconsistent. I don't want to touch Metcalf. So it's really between Crowder and Marvin Jones this week. Marvin Jones, last time he played against that defense, had 4 receiving touchdowns. And I feel like a guy like Xavier Rhodes is going to do everything in his power to kind of stop that. But often, blinded with rage, these guys make mistakes and put too much emphasis, and maybe we'll get a couple penalties. Regardless, Crowder and Marvin Jones. I honestly want to play Crowder because I feel like he's safer. I feel like Marvin Jones without a touchdown is just an inconsistent play. Sure, he's like 7-8 points. Touchdown makes his day. Same thing kind of with Crowder. I know Crowder's been pretty quiet as of late, but Miami kind of makes it easier for quiet receivers to come out of their shell. So as of right now, I'm going to go with Crowder. Marvin Jones is a close second, but no DK Metcalf. Thank you for the donation, Nathan. Ollie the Fourth says Jacobs, Lindsey, Miles Sanders, Beckham, Diggs, pick 3. Okay, Jacobs, Miles Sanders, and Stephon Diggs. Those are my 3. Thank you very much, Ollie the Fourth. Those are my 3 suggestions. Jonathan Rodriguez says Andrew, Powell, Mack, Penny. Also have Golden Tate. Okay, so I don't know how many I'm picking, but if I'm going to put it in order, it goes Powell, Penny, Mac, Tate in a half PPR, but in a full PPR, it'd probably go Powell. Yeah, I'd probably still go Powell, Penny, Tate, Mac in that case. But either way, I want to play Powell over the bunch. Thank you for the donation, Jonathan. Let's see here. Okay, now we got to scroll. I'm trying, guys. I'm trying my best. I know it's taking a while, but that's why I have the rankings to the left of me. That's the thing. Oh, man. Okay, let's see here. All right, so You sent a donation. Okay. Telugu, thank you for the donation. Your question was Shepard, DK, Emmanuel Sanders, James Washington for my wide receiver 2.5 PPR scoring format. My suggestion as of right now in a half PPR is probably Miles Sterling Shepard of the group. I don't really want to play DK Metcalf. I feel like James Washington's a good play, but as a lower end wide receiver 3, and Emmanuel Sanders is kind of in that same conversation. I'd rather play Sterling Shepard this week against the Eagles secondary, in my opinion. I know Eli's at quarterback, but it's probably his last start in the NFL. He's probably gonna be a gunslinger. He's gonna put it all out on the line, and I think he's gonna have a pretty good week, and Sterling Shepard is number 1 there, so he should have a good game. That's my suggestion. Thank you for the donation. William Lewis says, Powell or Snell, Sutton or Jeffrey. I'm going Powell, and I'm going Jeffrey in a half PPR, just as it says to the left of me as of right now, right over there. Oh, no, over there. Those are my suggestions. All right, let's go ahead. Let's move on. Thank you for the donation again, William. James Raff says, play 3, Crowder, Lazard, Brown, Ertz, Higbee, Edelman. Okay, Edelman is an automatic play. Brown, I'm assuming that's John Brown. If that's the case, then I'm probably playing John. Okay, so looking at this list, I'm going Edelman, Ertz, and Brown. Assuming it's John Brown, of course. That's my suggestion, James. Thank you for the donation. Aaron Welch, thank you for the donation, says, down by 3 in playoffs. Need a wide receiver and a flex. Hunt, Landry, or Godwin. I feel like Hunt will get garbage time points. Chubb and Henry are my running backs. Tyreek is my other wide receiver. Okay, so you need a wide receiver and a flex option this week. I feel like Hunt could get garbage time touchdowns, but garbage time as in they're winning by a significant margin. He comes in and just kind of yaks up a bunch of yards. I think your wide receiver 2 should definitely be Godwin. And I honestly, if this is any sort of PPR format, whether it's half or full, I think I'm still playing Landry over Hunt. Aaron, so my suggestion is going with Godwin at the wide receiver 2 spot and Landry at the flex this week. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Yadi. I don't know, man. You guys have some weird names. Thank you for the donation. It says Thomas, Penny, Crowder, flex, standard. Why? Question mark. Is that Michael Thomas? I mean, I don't know of any other Thomas, right? Is there any other Michael Thomas? I mean, is there any other Thomas in the NFL, guys? I'm thinking it's just Michael Thomas. So Michael Thomas, Rashad Penny, and Jamison Crowder at the flex, standard. Why? Question mark. You're playing Michael Thomas, and it's not even close. Why? Because the dude is the best wide receiver in the National Football League, has the most receptions, has the most points amongst all wide receivers, and there's no way that I'm sitting him in, or for Rashad Penny, who's as of right now, on paper, a 1-week wonder, and Crowder, who's been really inconsistent as of late, and Crowder needs PPR receptions to be relevant. So I'm playing Thomas. It's not even close. Aaron with another donation says, forgot to mention it's a PPR league. Okay. Okay, so yeah, Aaron, it pretty much just kind of folds into the same answer. It actually makes it stronger, in my opinion, for Landry and Godwin to be plays this week. So yeah, again, thank you for the donation. Jason with a donation says, where are you at, Jason? Wentz or Winston? I have Evans and Godwin in PPR. Ooh, I personally want to play Wentz. Now, as it currently stands, you are on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers train. Do you stack them and try to cash in on it? The whole thing is, do you expect multiple touchdowns to either of them? If you do, then, it just depends what your baseline expectation is. As of right now, I expect, Carson Wentz to throw 3 touchdowns against the New York Giants defense. If you believe you're going to get something close to similar to that from a guy like Jameis Winston, and you play Jameis Winston, you're perfectly fine. But in my opinion, I don't think it really matters what quarterback you're playing. I just feel like Wentz is the better play of the two, and that's what I'm going to suggest, Jason. All right, Dave McVicker says, Emmanuel, Debo, or Penny, full PPR, pick one. This makes it tougher. Between the two 49ers receiver, I want to play Emmanuel this week. Even though Debo's been a touchdown monster in the last couple of weeks, sure. Scoring touchdowns, it's perfectly fine. But I feel like Emmanuel Sanders has got a better play this week. I mean, just against that defense in general. But between him and Rashad Penny in a full PPR, I feel like they're going to run the ball a lot on the Rams, but is it enough? Is it a significant enough margin to where it makes Penny a relevant guy in a full PPR in comparison to Emmanuel Sanders? Honestly, I'm going to play Emmanuel Sanders this week. I like Penny as a play. I feel like the safety is with Sanders. Penny could probably catch the ball 4 or 5 times and be a really good play in that case, but as of right now, the 2 touchdowns last week, I don't know how likely that's going to repeat. So I'd rather just play a guy like Emmanuel Sanders, who has a pretty safe floor and upside. Dave, thank you for the donation. KJ203 says pick 3, full PPR. Thomas, Diggs, Parker, Jeffrey, Boyd. In my opinion, we're going with Thomas, Parker, and Jeffrey. Those are my 3 guys in a full PPR. Diggs and Boyd, sure, they sit on the bench, but it's not like they're bad plays at all. I think they're both, in my rankings, I think they're both top 18. Really good plays, but I just much rather play Thomas, Parker, and Jeffrey this week. They have far better matchups and, to be honest, more consistent as of late. Moving on, Big Dog with the donation says Parker or Evans. Between the two, I'm playing Parker. Mac or Carson? Carson without a doubt. I mean, these are easy clap, not even a problem, Big Dog. Parker, Carson, start them up. They're going to produce today. That's not a doubt in my mind. Those are my 2 suggestions. Me again with the donation says Tyler Higbee or Jacob Hollister. I'm playing Tyler Higbee over Jacob Hollister this week. Jacob Hollister is a little sketchy in my eyes. I feel like, yes, he's the starting tight end of the Seahawks, but as of late, hasn't done enough for me to kind of convince me to want to have to play him. So I'm going to go with Tyler Higbee. Thank you for the donation. Sunil with the donation says Shepard or James Washington or Pascal. Full PPR. We're definitely going with Shepard this week. Again, I like James Washington's upside because of the touchdown play. I like Pascal because of the matchup, but personally, I'd rather play Shepard. I think he's a safer play in a full PPR over the bunch. Thank you for the donation, Sunil. Tlugu with the donation again. Thank you very much. Shepard, Emmanuel. Okay, I think we answered this earlier. Your donation came through, but I'm catching up, guys. I'm catching up. Don't worry, your donations are not going unseen. They're getting here. Of the bunch, I think we talked about earlier, it was Shepard, Emmanuel Sanders, DK Metcalf, or James Washington in a half PPR. I'm playing Shepard this week. Thank you for the donation. Mimi again. Pascal or Lockett is your question. It's tough. All right, so Zach Pascal last week had, over 100 receiving yards, 10 targets, 7 receptions, all that jazz. Now the question is, can he do that again? And if so, is he a better or more consistent baseline play than a guy like Tyler Lockett? I'm scared about Tyler Lockett because I'm scared of telling people to sit him on their bench, and literally he pops off. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm kind of concerned about that with Pascal, but I think about what the Colts offense is capable of doing, and I think who's more likely of having a pop-off game. I don't know. As of right now, if it's me, I'm probably... Oh, dude, would I leave Lockett in my lineup? For Pascal. Oh, man, look, because there's different perspectives from it, right? Because Andrew plays in so many leagues that there's going to be a league in which I leave in Zach. I leave him in, and I play him over Tyler Lockett, and I don't worry about it. But yeah, honestly, I think the safer play of the two is Zach Pascal as of right now. Sure, I think Tyler Lockett has the higher upside potentially, but I think if you're looking for the safety and the floor of it, I think you go with Pascal and you're perfectly fine there. But I don't know. I just have a hard time with Lockett, man. He's a pain in my ass. That's what he really is at this point. Thank you for the donation. iShine101 says, Superflex, I have Mahomes starting, but should I play Josh Allen or Sam Darnold or Jacoby Brissett, who is on the waiver as well? Yeah, so as your second quarterback in a super flex, of the ones that are available, I'd rather play Sam Darnold over Josh Allen and Jacoby Brissett this week. I think Josh Allen's been really good, but as a tougher matchup, Sam Darnold plays against Miami. And I think that is going to be a very easy game for him. So I would play Mahomes and Sam Darnold. Thank you for the donation, I shine. I'm coming, guys. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. Okay, we're almost at the bottom. Joe sends in a donation. Says 14-team, 2-quarterback, 3-flex league. John Brown, A.J. Brown, Devin Singletary, Rashad Penny, or Devin Singletary again. Okay, don't worry about it. So I don't know why. Okay, doesn't matter. You have 3 flex spots, and you have 4 names here. John Brown, A.J. Brown, Singletary, or Penny. And it's a half PPR scoring format. As of right now, I'm playing John Brown, I'm playing Singletary, and I'm playing Rashad Penny. Those are my 3 guys. Now, I like A.J. Brown. If I was to play A.J. Brown, I would probably play him over John Brown, but that would be it. I personally think that the 2 running backs are far more valuable than those 2 receivers, respectively. So that's why I have John Brown over A.J. Brown this week. I mean, that's why I prefer to leave A.J. Brown on the bench, because I'm starting John Brown in favor of him. So, yeah, that's my suggestion. Thank you for the donation, Joe. Ira says, Ryan or Allen are my quarterbacks for playoffs. Advice, question mark? So Matt Ryan or Josh Allen or I'm assuming it's Josh Allen, not Kyle Allen. I could be mistaken. Obviously, you didn't put a first name, but I'm assuming it's because Kyle Allen's pretty much a bum at this point, and we're waiting for Cam Newton to come back next year. But regardless, between Matt Ryan and Josh Allen, potentially, maybe it's Kyle Allen, but if it's Josh Allen, I want to play Josh Allen. If it's Kyle Allen, give me Matt Ryan over him this week. But yeah, I mean, I pretty much the rankings over there pretty much answer it, right? I have like Josh Allen as my number 11, and I have Matt Ryan as my number 14. There's no Kyle Allen there, so that pretty much answers it. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it, Ira. James, again, coming back, my dude. Thank you very much. Brady or Darnold, Sony or Penny? Darnold, Penny, easy. I don't want to touch the Patriots offense unless it's Edelman. That is pretty much it. That's where it stands at the moment. Unless it's Edelman, I don't really want to have too much stock in the offense of the Patriots today. All right. VW fan says other wide receiver. Okay, other wide receiver is Godwin. Parker over Godwin? Question mark. Yeah, I would honestly play Parker over Godwin. I would. Why? Because Godwin has been far too inconsistent in my eyes. Sure, he had a 30-point game the other day. But that's mainly because he took a 20-yard post route over the middle for 71. Against a Falcons secondary. Like I think the Zier is a far better. I mean, just the corners in the secondary of the Colts is better than the Falcons up and down the board, in my opinion. And I feel like there's no way I'm leaving Parker on the bench. There's no way I'm doing it. I can't do it, guys. I can't. So yeah, I'd rather play Parker over Godwin. Thank you for the donation again, VW. Chunky JH with the donation says Singletary or Michelle? Singletary, not even close. Yeah, not even close. Thank you for the donation. Ghetto Ducky says Darius Geis or Kenyon Drake in a full PPR. Kenyon Drake scares the crap out of me. What is this? Okay, let me. Answer a couple of these. Okay, really quickly, guys. Let me get to this. So, Geis or Kenyon Drake? I'm probably playing Geis, but now that it's a full PPR, it gets a little bit trickier. Now, the question is, how much work has Kenyon Drake gotten in the last couple of weeks? Because I know, we all know David Johnson's dead. I don't know who is in that body. I don't know who's running it's pretty much he's like connected to a wireless Xbox controller, and they're running him out there, and they're playing. It's like a 4-year-old running it. I'm looking at like his reception count since getting to Arizona, right? 4, 6, 6, and 2. Obviously, last week was a bust, but that entire offense busted. So he's definitely going to be better against Pittsburgh, in my opinion, especially as a receiving back, because I think they're pretty terrible in terms of giving up a lot of receptions to receiving backs. So is he a better play in a full PPR over a guy like over a guy like Darius Geis. I think, let's say, for example, he catches the ball 6 times and he gets himself a total of 60 yards. It's 12 points. Can Darius Geis in a full PPR eclipse that? If he doesn't score a touchdown, no. If he scores a touchdown, absolutely. So if you're looking for the baseline floor, it's Kenyon Drake if you're in a full PPR. If you're looking for the upside play, it's Darius Geis. So as of right now, in my opinion, do I want to play Kenyon Drake? You know what's funny? I don't have a single stock of Kenyon Drake in the 13 leagues I play in. Is that by accident? I don't know. Maybe I just didn't trust Kenyon Drake enough. But I kind of still don't trust him. I'm going to play Darius Geis. That's my suggestion, Ghetto. Thank you very much. KJ203 says, pick 2, full PPR. Nick Chubb, Ingram, Carson. Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. Oh, my God. Play all 3? Please? Like, what? I got to make that decision? I'm playing Nick Chubb and I'm playing Chris Carson. And I don't want to leave Mark Ingram on the bench, but I have to. Because of Lamar Jackson's willingness to pull the ball on an option and keep the ball on the goal line and run it in himself, it leans me towards playing a guy like Chris Carson, Nick Chubb, who both get more touches than Ingram, and in my opinion are better plays this week. So that's my suggestion. Nick Chubb, Chris Carson. All right, Wayne sends in a donation, says, RB2, flex full PPR. Howard, no, he's injured. Chris Thompson, not really interested, nope. Darwin Thompson, yes. I'll play Darwin Thompson as your RB2. In the flex, it's either Marquise Brown or James Washington. Brown is injured, questionable to play today with an ankle. It's kind of scary. So where does that leave me? And he's probably getting Tre'Davious Whited, so I'm going to play James Washington, Darwin Thompson this week. Thank you for the donation, Wayne. Vesgod sends a donation. Oh, there we go. Now it's all of a sudden just messed up. God, why did it update like that? Where are we at? Vesgod, higher upside. Ryan or Fitz? Hooper or Doyle? I'm playing Doyle, and I'm playing, Fitzmagic. Yeah, I'm playing Fitzmagic. And I'm playing Doyle this week. If you're like Andrew, I can't trust the old man, I'm not going to do it. You play Matt Ryan, and it's perfectly fine. And he'll get his 2 touchdowns. But I'm certainly playing Jack Doyle this week. As good as Hooper's been this year, it's more like a what have you done for me lately kind of bias that I'm having, and it's making it tough for me to suggest Hooper over Doyle, and especially I love Doyle this week. I don't know what it is. I'm willing to die on the fucking rock for Jack Doyle this week. Excuse my language. So Fitz and Doyle, that's my suggestion. Moving on, Toluga sends another donation. Says flex in wide receiver 2, Landry, Lindsey, Singletary, Evans. Okay, in a half PPR setting, if I was to flex and or wide receiver 2 the bunch, I'm playing Landry over Evans, and I'm probably playing Singletary over Evans in the flex. So I'm going Landry and Singletary. Thank you for the donation. John Leo says, this is the week with options for me. Full PPR, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, 1 flex. Here we go. Let's set the lineup, baby. Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Sutton, Woods, Shepard. Okay, so those are the wide receivers. So of the 2 that I want to start, I'm playing D-Hop and I'm playing Shepard. Or sorry, what am I doing? I'm playing Sutton. D-Hop and Sutton. Okay, those are the 2 wide receivers. No, Sutton's been a little questionable. I don't think he practiced all week long with a little bit of an injury. So let's go with D-Hop and Woods. Okay, those are my 2 wide receiver suggestions. Okay, then at the running back position, you have yourself Aaron Jones, Chris Carson, Miles Sanders. So this is my suggestion. Okay, at the 2 wide receiver spots, you play Robert Woods and DeAndre Hopkins. At running back, you play Aaron Jones and Chris Carson, and you sit Miles Sanders into the flex position. Boom. At the quarterback position, it's either Matt Ryan or Ryan Fitzpatrick or Fitzmagic. I'd rather play Fitzmagic this week, but if you'd like to play Matt Ryan, you certainly can. I just prefer the Magic. So yeah, that's my suggestion. Thank you very much, John Leo. Luis says 2 QB league, Josh Allen or Baker Mayfield. I'm probably playing Josh Allen as my QB2. I like Baker a lot, but I feel like the running game, any sort of rushing touchdown could really disrupt any sort. I mean, like I can easily see Kareem Hunt and a guy like Nick Chubb, both running for multiple touchdowns today and just pulling out all the value from Baker Mayfield right from underneath him. While Josh Allen's a guy that's going to run the ball, has the most rushing touchdowns amongst all quarterbacks this year with 8, already has over 400 running yards. Like the guy is, despite the matchup, cannot be bottled up for very long. He will get points, whether it's late, early, doesn't matter. He's a good enough quarterback. I trust in Josh Allen. I trust in Harvey Dent. Moving on. Solomon, let's see here. It says Chark, John Brown, Boyd, Snell, Penny, need 2.5 PPR. Ooh, that's a good question. That is really tough. Okay, before we get there, I'm going to answer that question, but I'm going to answer Chris W. really quickly. Chris W. says Ryan, Darnold, or Fitz for the quarterback position. My suggestion is Darnold. So now that we got that, that's good. Okay, cool. Chark, Brown, Boyd, Snell, Penny. I want to say Chark and Boyd. Those are my 2 suggestions as of right now. I don't mind Snell or Penny, but they sketch me out because if they don't score touchdowns in a half PPR, I feel like Chark and Boyd are just a little bit more. I'm going to go with Chark and Boyd as of right now. If I was to play a running back instead of one of them, I would play Penny over Chark. But as of right now, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go with Boyd and Chark as my suggestions for this week. Thank you very much. Chris W., we got that. Greg Lira says playoffs begin next week. Okay. I need an RB adjustment setup help. Powell, Snell, Connor, Josh Jacobs, and Singletary, second place in my league. I need an RB adjustment. Okay, cool. So as of this week, if that's what we're talking about, Greg, this week Connor's injured. So my suggestions are in this specific order: Jacobs, Singletary, Powell, Snell, Connor, in that order. So hopefully that helps you out. I'm not sure exactly what you were asking, but I'm assuming that's the RB adjustment setup help. Ibrahim, you sent in a donation, and where did okay, so you sent in another donation, Ibrahim. So maybe the first one didn't have the message attached to it. I'm certainly, I was going to get to it eventually, but Ibrahim, okay, I forgot to send a question when I donated Robbie Anderson, Devo, Pascal, or Snell at the flex. Okay, perfect. So I got to it. All right, thank you for the donation. So Ibrahim, Devo, Snell, Pascal, or Robbie Anderson in the flex. Of the bunch, I prefer Snell as of right now. Did it say what kind of scoring format? Let me scroll up. No, not really. So I'm assuming it's half PPR. As of right now, of the bunch, I'd probably go Snell, then a guy like I gotta think about this before I open my mouth. Snell, Anderson. Yeah, man, I like Robbie Anderson a lot this week, but I'm playing Snell. Man, I like Robbie Anderson. Okay, so I'm gonna go Snell, Anderson, Pascal, Debo. I really like Anderson, but I'm gonna play Snell over him. Thank you for the donation, Ibrahim. Let's see here. Basil Abdullah, thank you for the donation, says Njoku, Henry, Rudolph. Is Deshaun startable? Like Deshaun Watson? Absolutely. Oh, what? Hello? But at the tight end position between the bunch, I'd rather play Kyle Rudolph over Hunter Henry and David Njoku this week. So Kyle Rudolph is my suggestion. KJ203 says 49ers or Jets defense? That's a really good question. Honestly, I'm probably playing the 49ers defense this week. I trust them more than the Jets defense. I just think there's more talent on the 49ers defense. There's no way they're about to get embarrassed this week bad enough to where, we're thinking what the hell just happened. So I think they've got too talented of a pass rush and a defense in general to not be able to score some points. So I'm going to go with the 49ers defense. Thank you. Luis says, Lockett, Robbie, Washington. It's Robbie, full PPR. Robbie Anderson's my suggestion. Travis 78 22 says full PPR. Christian Kirk, James White, Singletary. That's a good question. I'm probably playing Singletary. Yeah, my suggestion is Singletary of the bunch. So I go Singletary, then White, then Kirk. I like Kirk in a full PPR, but I just feel like Singletary is just a far better play in my opinion. Ibrahim said full PPR. Yeah, I'm still playing. Oh, if it's a full PPR, I'm playing Robbie Anderson over Benny Snell. So yeah, that's that. So if it's a full PPR for Ibrahim, I'm definitely doing Robbie Anderson. Winston or Cousins? It's Cousins. Okay. Cool. Let me come back here. All right, guys. I've gotten to the bottom of the barrel of all the donations. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I got 20 minutes to start ripping off a lot of questions here because I know there's a lot of you in the chat, and I'm sorry. It took me a while. You can blame everybody else. Don't blame me. If you want, you can blame me. I don't give a shit. Let's go. Robbie Anderson or Tyreek Hill in a standard? I'm playing Tyreek Hill. Bilal Powell or Rashad Penny? I'm playing Bilal Powell. Andrew, you going to the Rams Seahawks game? Absolutely not. It's too expensive. Matthew, but thank you for asking. Half PPR, Pascal, Kirk, Madison. Don't know if it's worth the risk with Cook in. Yeah, I don't want to play Madison in that scenario. So we're talking about Kirk or Zach Pascal. I'm probably playing Christian Kirk there. Vikings defense or Ravens defense? Probably. Ooh, that's a really good question. I don't like talking defenses. I probably would just throw in Baltimore and probably play him rest of season. I mean, it's tough because I know a lot of you. I'm looking at 4 consecutive questions, all asking about defense. So Vikings, Ravens, I go with the Ravens. Cleveland or Baltimore? I mean Ravens. But yeah, Cleveland, Baltimore. Gosh, I don't do enough research on defenses to give a shit. But at this point, I'd probably Jiminy Christmas, help me. At this point, I'd probably still play the Ravens. Colts defense or 49ers? I'd play the 49ers. Why is Mike Evans ranked so low? Because Mike Evans hasn't played consistently well in about a month. So unless you're willing to play a guy that's put up 8 points in fantasy for the last 3 weeks at a higher position, you personally can. I'm playing him in my leagues. I don't have a problem with that. There's very few. I don't know how you guys could have 3 receivers better than Mike Evans right now in that top. If you have 3 of the top 18, you should feel very lucky. Just saying. But I don't think Mike Evans is that significantly low. Jamal Williams or Sony Michel? It's easy. It's Jamal Williams, not even close. Lindsey or Sanders? Sanders, not even close. Let's see here. I had a couple more questions come in via donation. James says, AJ Brown or Jamison Crowder? AJ Brown is literally my number 37 wide receiver. Literally. So the question remains, AJ Brown versus the Raiders, Jamison Crowder playing against the Dolphins. Who do I trust more in a half PPR setting, full PPR, or whatever it may be setting? Personally, I trust Jamison Crowder more. Why? Because, the whole thing is the Tennessee the offense is run first, run heavy. That's their entire scheme. On the other hand, we're going to have Ryan Fitzmagic coming out trying to collect souls out on that field. And Sam Darnold's going to have to come back and return and feed a ball to, his respective receivers. Now, sure, Crowder didn't play well last week, but it's not like it was a lack of trying. Crowder had 9 targets. Sure, he caught the ball twice. But 9 targets? That's literally the second most he's had this season. Sure, it came from a bad week, but still. I'm playing Crowder. Thank you for the donation, James. Let's see. Cabrera, Elmas Cabrera with the donation says, thanks, Andrew. Singletary or Powell? Guys. I'm playing. I'm probably playing Bilal Powell, and I'm not really too worried about it. What happened to is my font busted or is my screen? No, mine. We're chilling. I'm probably playing Bilal Powell this week. If you're like, Andrew, there's no way you could even convince me to sitting Singletary. Then I have there's no problem. You play Singletary, you're good to go. In terms of what Singletary has done as of late, let's see here. The only reason I really want to play Powell, not only just because of the Miami matchup, but he's gonna get a lot of work in the passing game. I really do believe so. In the last couple of weeks, right, we've seen Singletary go for 15 for 75 on the ground, 21 for 106, and 14 for 63. Now, he's not going to be able to have huge running yard, rushing games especially against Baltimore. But it's his receiving work that has been his strongest suit. And as of late, let me see here. What are we doing? Hello? Come on. We don't got this much time, Andrew, right? Andrew, hurry up, wrap it up. Yeah, we get it. But as of late, in terms of like what he's done in the passing game, sure, he scored a touchdown last week. 3 receptions, though. It's not a lot. It's not like Alvin Kamara's 10, 7, 8, As of right now, I'd rather just play Bilal Powell. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, moving on. Let's see here. DB says, Snell or Ridley in a standard. I'm playing Snell. Then we have ourselves Baltimore. Oh, actually, you know what? Ridley's good, but yeah, Ridley's so touchdown dependent. It scares the crap out of me. I just feel like Snell's 20 touches comparatively to Ridley's like 6 grabs is going to be the big tell. But as of right now, I'd just rather play Snell. Baltimore or Browns defense, Julio or Lockett. I'm playing Julio over Lockett. Not even close. Baltimore over the Browns, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. Did we answer all those? Did we? Okay, let's see here. What the heck is this? Full PPR. Would you rather have Eckler over Penny this week or still rank Penny over Eckler? Yeah, I'd rather have Penny over Eckler. Wait, full PPR? No, Eckler over Penny, full PPR. Next. Okay, did that one. Sorry, guys. These are Patreon questions. Trying to get these done. Okay, done. All right, let's see here. I'm coming. Almost there. All right, here we go. Ethan with a donation. Thank you very much. Says Landry, Cup, Sutton, full PPR flex. In a full PPR, I'm playing Cup. Yeah, I'm going Cup, Landry, Sutton in that order. Cup, Landry, Sutton. Yeah. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Alrighty. K Visionary says, stream 1, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Fitzpatrick, or Drew Brees. I'm playing Kirk Cousins this week. That's my stream of the week. K Visionary, thank you very much for the donation. Appreciate it. Okay. Did I answer everyone's donation questions? I believe I have. In said belief, I can now get back to the regular chat. Now, I know, Andrew, you just spent an hour and 15 minutes answering only donation questions. What's wrong with you? Listen, it's a business. I'm trying to make that business thrive right now, okay? If you were in my, spot, what would you do? Come on, you gotta look at it from my perspective, right? Don't complain. All right, here we go. Here it is. Starting off, we're gonna go ahead. These rankings, they're gone. We're pulling up the YouTube chat. All right, here we go, people. Here we go. Greg, I think we already answered one of your questions. I like Powell or Snell because of the defensive matchup. Okay, cool. Jamal Williams or Powell? Powell. It just got announced that Pettis and Godwin are inactive. So would you take Pascal, Powell, or Debo? I'm assuming you're talking about a half PPR setting. Here's the thing. Godwin and Pettis don't do shit in that offense. So just because they're out doesn't mean anything at all. They don't contribute ever. They haven't all year long. I mean, there have gone weeks where Godwin has been completely inactive and no one's even batted an eye because he's useless in that offense. So those don't really make a difference. I anticipated them both being out already. Still playing Bilal Powell. Emmanuel Sanders or Debo Samuel in a PPR. In my opinion, I'm going with Sanders. Woods or Singletary? Okay, that's a flex question. Sorry, Alfredo, we cannot answer flex questions. Moving on, Penny or John? That's another flex question, guys. What would it be doing to me? Calvin Ridley or Keenan Allen? I'm playing Keenan Allen this week. Need help? Tannehill or Mayfield? I'm playing Tannehill. Please, someone help Doyle or Powell? I have Kelsey. Ooh. Why would you do this to me? Oh, no. Damn, son. Why you gotta do that to me like that, dude? Damn. That hurts. That hurts a lot. I'm probably going to play the running back, but I kind of want to play Doyle. Moving on. Christopher saying Cooper Kupp or Mike Evans in a full PPR. I'm still playing Cooper Kupp. If anything, a full PPR kind of helps Cooper Kupp. Max, Singletary, Eckler, Snell, standard. I'm playing Snell, and I'm playing Singletary in a standard. Thank you very much, William. Moving on. Picked up Powell when Bell was out. Am I screwed? No. Powell's fantastic. I mean, okay. Just to kind of give everybody some perspective, all right? Let's switch off here. Where's my full screen? Here we go. Let's go look at what Bilal Powell did last year, okay? Just so everyone who's playing him is not like, Andrew, he's going to be a bust and everyone's going to get screwed. Maybe that's a possibility. I didn't say that he wasn't going to be a bust. There's always a potential. You know, Mike Evans might show up this week, have 40 points, and then we have, you know, the number one wide receiver, Devontae Adams, come up with 1.5 points. But when we go back and we look at what Bilal Powell was capable of doing last season, especially late in the season once he came back from his injury that he sustained in the regular season, he was pretty consistent. 14 for 73 and a touchdown, 20 for 99, 16 for 59 and a touchdown, 5 for 20 and a touchdown. No, those aren't touchdowns. What am I talking about? Where's the touchdowns? He didn't have any touchdowns? Bilal Powell was garbage last year? What? No, there it is. Okay, never mind. Receiving touchdown. He didn't have any rushing. Jesus Christ, help me. Bilal Powell, you better fucking get it done, dude. All right, listen to me. You better get it done. I'm not playing around no more. You better get it done. Washington or Diggs, I'm playing Diggs. Anderson or Metcalf, I'm playing Anderson. Lockett, John Ross, Westbrook, Slayton. Probably Lockett, but if you're worried about it, you play Westbrook and you'll be perfectly fine. Hollister or McDonald? Probably Hollister, but why not McDonald? Why not just risky for the biscuit, right? The playoffs. Tannehill or Mayfield? Yeah, Tannehill. Kareem or Benny Snell in a standard? Benny Snell. A.J. Brown or Geis? That's a flex question. Kirk or Tannehill? Christian Kirk. Kirk Cousins. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. Darwin Thompson or Bilal Powell? That's my Bilal Powell is my suggestion. Odell or John Brown? John Brown. Hunter Henry or Jack Doyle? Jack Doyle. Matt. See, when I say it updates, it's just like, whoop, and now I don't know where it went. I'm lost. Henry or Njoku? Henry. Anderson or Metcalf or John Brown? Anderson and John Brown, those are my two suggestions. I leave Metcalf on the bench because he's going to get shadowed by Jalen Ramsey the whole day. Josh Jacobs or Powell? Josh Jacobs, not even close. Chark or Lockett? Chark, not even close. Ridley or Tate? I have 1 minute. Ridley. Come on. I mean, Ridley was on the list. Tate wasn't. That kind of answers your question, man. Let's see here. What do we got? Max, Singletary. Okay, we already did that one, William. OBJ or John Brown? We did John Brown. Mahomes or Wentz? I want to play Wentz this week. If you want to play Mahomes, you play him. Perfectly fine. Where are we at, dude? You suck. You guys remember that? What is it? God, who's the wrestler? Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's entrance music. That's what it is. Vance, I appreciate you kind of getting it going. Appreciate that. I need to gamble big number as my opponent is stacked. Who has the largest ceiling? Emmanuel Sanders, Robbie Anderson, DJ Chark. Robbie Anderson has the highest ceiling of the bunch. And then Chark, then it's Sanders in that order. Do you think Julio Jones finally had a good game? Question mark. Do you think he have a good game? He hasn't had a good game he had a 20-point week a couple weeks back. Like, it's not like he's been completely AFK and gone, but I'm hoping he has a better week this week. Jasicki or Andrews, half PPR. Bills are tough against the tight end. Jamal Williams is out. No, I get it. I still rather play Andrews. That's just, I'm stubborn, but that's what I'd rather do. But if you want to play Jasicki, it's not a bad idea at all. Cole Beasley or Metcalf? I'm playing Cole Beasley. Henry and Njoku, I'm playing Henry. Okay, we did that. And now we got a little bit of Zachary Brown, I'm going to get to you right now. Andrew Hedrick, I'm going to get to you. Mike Long, okay, yep, okay. Michael says Josh Jacobs or Jalen Samuels. Josh Jacobs. What is wrong with? I mean, I'm sorry, guys. Is Josh Jacobs injured and he's out? Like, what are we doing? Why are so many people asking about Josh Jacobs? Like, I'm pretty sure he's healthy. I mean, like, not relatively healthy. He's got a busted shoulder, sure, but he's supposed to play today. Like, where are we at? Where's Josh Jacobs? Is there any news on him latest in terms of him being out? Doesn't look like it. Unless someone's got the link for me and you want to post in the chat. Actually, if you post the link, it'll probably get sniped out and you might get banned, so be careful. The automated computer will just get after you. So yeah, Josh Jacobs over Jalen Samuels. I got to answer Andrew Hedrick. Goff or Kyle Allen? I'm playing Goff. The static in my ears is because I got a text and whatever. Who do I sit? Hill, Kupp, Jeffrey, or Jones? Is that Aaron Jones? Man. If you got to sit one, you sit Cooper Kupp this week. And you play Tyreek Hill, you play Alshon Jeffrey, and then you play Aaron Jones. And you leave Cooper Kupp on the bench. No problem. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's go back up to right here. Griffin or Higbee, half PPR. I'm scared of Griffin coming off Hill. 100% Higbee, right? I mean, where's Griffin on my list? Do I even have... Let me see here. Where the hell... Do I even have Griffin on the list? I don't even have Griffin on the list. Why you got to ask that question? It's easy, Paul. Paul Swaggy. Easy clap. Put in Higbee. McDonald or Hollister? We talked about it earlier. Brisk the biscuit. Throw in McDonald. Let's get a W. Hooper or Mark Andrews? I'm playing Hooper over Mark Andrews. John Brown or Mixon? Mixon, what? Moving on. Cook or Madison? Cook, 100%. Victor, hello? What are we doing? Do you like Julio this week? Yeah, he's my number 5 wide receiver on the week. I'm literally here. Let me see if I can. Where's my Yahoo League here? Again, I'm literally starting him as my wide receiver 1 in many leagues. All right, let me peek out my lineup, make sure everything's looking good. Am I playing Kenny Golladay? No, not over. Am I playing Kenny Golladay over Tyler Boyd? Let me look at my rankings. No, I'm not doing that. Put in Tyler Boyd. All right, now my lineup is set. Moving on. Chris Carson or Eckler in a full PPR? I'm still playing Chris Carson. Do you like... Okay, so Powell or Hunt in a standard? Probably... I mean, Hunt is a very receiving, oriented back. I'm playing Powell. Deebo Samuel, Kareem Hunt in a flex. I know it's a flex question. To be honest, I'm probably going with the running back there. Hey, Andrew, would you sit Dalvin if you had a saver option like Melvin Gordon? I would play them both. I would legitimately play them both. Why would I sit Dalvin Cook? I can't imagine. If Dalvin Cook comes out and pulls a David Johnson on me, I'm going to lose my mind. I will absolutely lose my mind. I will lose so many leagues in the first round of playoffs. We're not going to talk about it. It's not happening. I'm playing Dalvin Cook and I'm playing Melvin Gordon in that scenario. You are the man, Andrew. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But I really am just a normal human being, just like every single one of you. I've just been blessed with the situation. Let's see here. Julio, Evans, Parker. Pick 2. I'm playing Julio and I'm playing Parker. Jacobs or Mac? I'm playing Mac. No, I'm not playing Mac. I'm playing Jacobs. I mean, maybe I should just start messing with you guys and just... Let's see here. Okay. Kirk or Chark? I'm pretty sure I'm playing DJ Chark over Christian Kirk. He's a great play, Kirk is, but I'm playing DJ Chark over him. Is there any other donations that came through that I must answer at this very moment in time? No. All right, cool. I'm going to close Patreon because that shit's done for now. Do that. Okay, we go over here. Do that. Okay. Let's go back here. Mixon or Powell? Mixon, 100%. Chark or Boyd? I'm pretty sure I have Boyd over Chark this week by 1 slot, so therefore I should answer the question. Hunter or Kittle? Kittle. Crowder, John Brown, or Beasley? PPR. I'm probably going John Brown. I don't trust Rivers. You shouldn't. Nobody should. But if you are a Eckler owner or a Keenan Allen owner or a Hunter Henry owner, you kind of have to. But don't play Rivers himself, okay? The Cook stress is real. Absolutely. Drake or Singletary. Saquon or Kamara in a standard. Saquon. Not even close. Kirk or Beasley. Kirk. OBJ or Brown. I'm assuming that's John Brown. If it is, I'd rather play John Brown. If it's A.J. Brown, you play OBJ and you're good with it. Woods or Shepard? Woods. Chark or Washington? Chark. Lockett, Woods, Diggs, start 2. Woods and Diggs are my suggestion. Neil Curtis. OBJ or Snell, Kyle? God dang it. OBJ or Snell? It's a big flex question, to be honest. I don't know if I want to play OBJ in that scenario. Full PPR, John Brown, James Washington. Probably John Brown. Standard flex, Singletary, Jeffrey, Brown. There's standard. I typically like to go with running backs, but I don't mind the Jeffrey play. Penny or Jamal? Penny. Landry or Washington? Landry. James White or John Brown? Probably White. I'm just starting. I'm going off the rails, guys. Chark or Lindsey? Oh, God. That one is a little tougher. I'd probably go Chark. Kirk has been a disappointment. He's scaring me. Yeah, Kirk has been a disappointment, but that's because he got Jalen Ramsey last week. And the week before that, he had the 49ers defense. And then the week before that, he was decent against Tampa Bay. He had a monster game. But then the week before that, he had the 49ers. So that's why he's been bad. Mostert or AP? Matt Breida's back, so I'll probably play AP. Because Mostert, I don't know if, there's so many running backs in that backfield. Wilson, Mostert, Breida, Tevin Coleman. It's just a mess. I'd rather just play AP and just, hope that he gets more touches than Geis like he typically does. Winston or Darnold, probably Winston. I'm going to bye week Fitzmagic or Ryan rest of the season. Fitzmagic. Chark or Evans, Chark. Brown or Debo, Brown. Those are my suggestions. You could play otherwise, but you're asking for my opinion. Chark or Washington? Standard. Chark. What's up, Andrew? Jordan Howard playing on Monday or what? The weather's supposed to be like... the weather's supposed to be light rain. Jordan Howard's not supposed to play Monday. And even if he does, he's got a stinger that he's coming off of. They're going to have him on a pitch count. Most definitely. Ross or Washington? Washington. Wilson or Watson? Wilson. Ryan or Darnold? Darnold. Snell or Jamal Williams? Snell. Brissett or Breeze? Breeze. All right, guys. Thank you. Appreciate everybody spending time today. If I wasn't able to get to your questions, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll do it even longer. Stream to next week. I mean, maybe 2 hours, maybe 3 hours. I don't know. But I appreciate everybody spending time today. It is kickoff. It is 10 a.m. There's a couple more questions here. I'm assuming that because it is 10:01 a.m., all lineups have locked. That's just unfortunate. But if I have to, Darren Waller or Henry, I'd probably go Henry. Lockett, okay. Parker or Chark. I mean, guys, the answers are right there. It's over there. I literally put it right there for a reason. All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate everybody coming by. Thank you, everybody, for the donations. Appreciate all of you. Next week. Well, technically Monday's next week. But anyway, see you guys tomorrow. Waiver Wire Monday. Hope everyone does well. Best of luck. Let's get some W's this week, shall we? All right. See you guys.